My boyfriend wants me to earn him back by letting him date other women while putting me on probation every few months. I, 19F, have been with my boyfriend, 22M, for about 4 years now. We're both from NY, I was born and raised here, while he moved from a Middle Eastern country when he was 10. This becomes important later on. I also come from an ethnic family with a similar culture to his, though I wasn't raised with any strong emphasis on it. When we first started dating, everything was good, but he was very much against the idea of me identifying as a feminist. He said he would convert me from a feminist to someone who doesn't identify as that. I brushed it off as a joke because I have my own identity, but he didn't let up on telling me why it's wrong to be a feminist. At first, it was lighthearted, but over time, it became more intense. About a year ago, he told me that if I didn't denounce feminism right then and there, he would leave me. To save the relationship, I did what he asked, even though it broke my heart. I tried to move on from it. A while after that, we had another argument over the phone. In his culture, and to a lesser extent in mine, it's common for some men to marry multiple women. I absolutely consider that cheating and made it clear I'm against it. This argument was 2 years ago, but I still can't forget it. All I said was that it's cheating, and in response, he called me an ungrateful ass whre. The hurt from that still lingers. He cursed at me more and said that if I didn't take back what I said, he would break up with me. I was in tears and ended up doing what he demanded. There was another time when he didn't let me speak to my best friend for 6 months. I can barely remember that time, but I vividly recall the depression and panic I felt. I had no one to talk to and was completely isolated. We've had other fights too. For instance, he doesn't like me wearing leggings. 2 years ago, when I was traveling back to my home country in August, my mom asked me to wear leggings because of the heat. I did, and when he found out, he didn't speak to me for a week. I'm also in the same engineering team at college as his best friend. One day, his friend came to visit, and the three of us were hanging out. I contributed to the conversation, but afterward, my boyfriend got furious. He said that when his friends are around, I should only speak when spoken to and accused me of embarrassing him by joking around. He once even compared me to his friend's girlfriend, saying she does all his assignments while he has to ask me to do his. He's currently on an engineering internship, so he asks me to help with his work. The difference is, she's an English major, while I'm an engineering major, and I'm already overwhelmed with my own workload. Another time, he asked me to pick him up on a cold day. I was on my way but lost signal, took a wrong turn, and my GPS stopped working. I ended up being 40 minutes late. I do have a habit of being late, so I understand why he was mad. When I arrived, he screamed at me in my car while I cried. I had to do everything I could to make him stay and not leave. Fast forward to early July this year, he went through my phone and saw that I had texted my male cousins on Instagram and a 17-year-old boy who's coming to my college this year. The boy asked for guidance on courses and getting around campus, and I agreed to help. My boyfriend blew up worse than ever, kicked me out of his car, and said he needed a break from me for a month. He only texted me good morning and good night during that time but still met me on weekends for, well, you know. He said he needed to think about what he wanted to do after what I had done. Which brings us to now. About 3 weeks ago, he met me and said he'd thought about it but warned that I wouldn't like what he decided. He told me that if I want to stay with him, I have to earn him back on the free market. This means if he's interested in someone else, he's free to pursue them, and he'll evaluate me every quarter, based on the school semester. He also said he'll have access to my Instagram, but I can't have access to his, as part of the conditions. His other requirements include me learning to cook, being more disciplined, like finishing a painting for him that I've been working on for 2 years but can't finish due to art block, and wearing a headscarf, something I never thought I'd do at such a young age, but now feel pressured to. I admit, I'm not entirely innocent either. Last July, I became really depressed and distanced myself from everyone in my life, including him. I understand why he's hurt over that. I would sit in my room staring at the wall for hours and sometimes couldn't reply to him, which upset him. I even failed 3 classes, which is unusual for me since I've always been an A student. But engineering is tough, and I was struggling. I'm someone who grew up reading romance books and always wanted that kind of love. But ever since that day in July, he's been so dry with me. He doesn't say he loves me anymore, and I get why, but it still hurts. I know I messed up, but I can't tell if I'm really the one at fault. All my friends say I've been gaslit, but I'm not sure. He can be very caring, he buys me chocolates, birthday presents, and gives encouragement when I need it. But sometimes, I just need his words too. He comes from a broken home with parents who always fought, while I come from a very privileged background. He says that my privilege gets to my head, and now I'm second-guessing everything. I don't know if I've been wrong this whole time or if I'm being manipulated. I just needed to get this off my chest. Edit 1. One of his conditions for staying together is that I learn his language, which is very difficult for me, and I feel like my efforts go unappreciated. Edit 2. I should clarify that he says he would never be disloyal regarding multiple wives. We can include a clause in the marriage contract forbidding it, and I told him I would. But he flipped out, saying I shouldn't need to if I trust him and that it's disrespectful. My parents support me including that clause. He wants to get engaged this year, and I do too, but I doubt I'll get the romantic proposal I always dreamed of. He said that if I include the clause, he'll add one requiring me to wear a headscarf, or he'll divorce me. I don't see how cheating is equivalent to a headscarf. He says I'm a good girlfriend but not wife material yet. Follow Reddit Owl for more hooting threads.